Hi.
Hey,
Good morning.
good morning. How you doing?
Wonderfully. How are you?
Good. It is so rainy here, Holly.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, that's why my hair's up today.
It's going to rain all week.
Oh, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. It's nice here. Blue sky, cold.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's cold though.
Yeah. Any more snow?
40s. No, we haven't had any for a couple of weeks. But there's
Okay.
still a little bit on the ground because it's been so cold, but it's going to be in the 50s, I think, today.
Yeah.
It's
Did
not-
you put a new door on your office?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say that looks new.
Yeah. So I could keep the mud out.
Yeah.
He's in here.
He can still look in.
He's in here now because he's being good. But... So what's been going on?
Well, we've been last week we were kind of getting reacclimated, and then we're doing the workman program. So
good.
yeah, we had our first meeting with the coach that was assigned to us, and it's just been like they're trying to give us access to the platform and go so I can get through the training center and watch all the videos and whatnot.
Oh, I'm so glad you're doing that. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I don't know how, since Tina's going to be out, Pat's going to be more involved on it too, and so looking forward to that. And then we haven't decided how we're going to implement it yet. So I think they're trying to let us get used to it and understand it, and then go from there. So I like it so far. I like the coach we have.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we got Carol on. So let me share my screen. We'll get started here.
Okay.
No, quiet. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. So we have a few people on. I might just give it just one more minute. This is being recorded, so after I finish, we'll go ahead and I'll get this over to you. We can get it up on the website for everybody. And today is really just about goal alignment and a little bit of self-reflection as we get ready to move forward in 2020. So I thought it would be a good time to kind of really just do this self-assessment of where you're at in your business and where you're at in, frankly, a couple of other things besides your business. You know, I know we always talk about business, and which is great, but there's other areas of our life, and it's important sometimes just to do a little bit of self-reflection in all of that. So what I really want everyone to go through the process of doing, and I've really been getting committed to doing this, is to write down what it is that you want. And don't think about it. Just write down. Just get a blank sheet of paper and just start letting the page fill with things that you want, whether it's big dreams, small dreams, little goals, big goals. But going through that exercise is really powerful. I'm doing, Mel Robbins has the best decade ever. It's a free course. Is anybody else doing that? I know Susan's in it, but it is really good. You can start it anytime, but she really breaks down the psychology of, you know, why we stop dreaming and what gets in our way from dreaming big. And a lot of it's because we're told the word no when we're growing up, like 400 times a day. Kids can hear the word no. And it just really becomes a habit. And we start having all these limited beliefs. But the course is pretty powerful. I'm really enjoying it. And you can just go to melrobbins.com best decade ever, I think it's called. And you can sign up and you can start at any time. It's not like you have to start at January 1st. So write down the things that you like about this business, that you're passionate about. Maybe it's flexibility. Maybe it's being able to take a bunch of vacations, unlimited income. Maybe it's helping others, freedom, retirement, paying your bills, getting out of debt, part-time work for full-time pay, right? I always say it's hard to do that. But a lot of times I see people make a lot of income in real estate, and, you know, not everybody has to work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours. It's kind of amazing. You can get really smart and systemized in this business and have a very nice income. So maybe you want to be your own boss, or maybe you just like the education of it, educating others in the process. But really think about what you want and then what it means to you, what your aspirations. And we always go through this process a couple times a year. I think we should go through it a couple of times a year. So definitely spend a couple of minutes and write down the things that you want. Mel actually had another great video, and I should post it in the center members. It was about your passion and how you don't really find your passion. You bring your passion with you to what it is you're doing. And her video was great about that. And I think the name of the video, you can find it on YouTube, is when people tell you to find your passion, that's bad advice, or something like that. But I'll tell you, it was really good. It gives you such a great perspective on passion and how you can have passion in anything. And it's a feeling. It's not something you find. It's something you bring with you. And it was really good. So I definitely encourage you to watch that. Maybe I'll post it in center members. So this page, this is from the Entrepreneur's Path, the booklet that we've had and that we've given out, and we can get you that booklet if you want it. Just let us know. But again, it starts with, what is your goal, right? We need to know what it is you're trying to accomplish and how many clients you're going to need in order to get that building in with some fallout, right? So some conversion. So in this example, if somebody was looking to make $194,000 and your average commission was $6,000, you would need 33 closed transactions. So figure out what your average commission is. Let's look at 2019, look at your numbers, and let's get really grounded in how many clients you need to secure. So in order to have 33, if we're going to have any building in for some conversion and fallout, we would need 52 clients. We would need to go on 52 appointments. So if you just go from January 1st, how many appointments have you already been on? You know, I really encourage people to have an appointment goal rather than a transaction goal, because everything stems from appointments. So you've got to be going on these appointments. And I would have a big board up on my wall, and I would be tracking every time I got face-to-face with people. Face-to-face trumps everything else. Even if your face-to-face doesn't actually end up being anything, it's so important for you to be in front of people, talking to people, communicating, helping, seeing how you can serve others. And maybe they're not doing something for 9 months or 10 months. Get in front of people. That's how you create loyalty. That's how you start the process of engagement. Every time you go on an appointment, you're giving yourself an opportunity for follow-up. And like we've always said, the fortune's in the follow-up. So get out, get up, get dressed, and get out of your house. We've got to stop, except today it's raining. I know, it's a bad day there, I hear. It's ugly out. But we've got to stop cocooning. So put yourself in positions to be out and engage with people. We've got to get off of our screens and get in front of people. So really make that a challenge this year, to go out and get face-to-face. Stop it. Get up. Get out. Again, we need to figure out where your business is going to come from. So a great way to start is, where did it come from in 2019 and 2018? Go back, get the production from the office, Have it line by line and next to every piece of business, write where it came from. I can't tell you how important this is. This will help you nurture and get better at what you're already doing. So if you had 20 pieces of business in 2019 and 14 of them came from your sphere of influence, that's huge. How great is that for you to be able to see what did you do with your sphere of influence that got those referrals to come? Were you doing the top 100? Were you doing a monthly newsletter? Were you doing personal notes? Were you staying in touch by doing unsolicited CMAs? What was the actual activity that got you the result? Then we want to improve on that so that you get even better results in 2020. If you had 2 people, 2 closings came because you met them at an open house, that's fantastic. We should do more open houses, right? If you're paying for things, if you're investing in things that are not showing up on your source tracker, so if you've been paying for Facebook ads, but none of the closings came because you met someone through a Facebook ad, we need to do one of 2 things. The first thing we need to do is assess, did you try it long enough? And what skill are you improving on to convert that effort? So if I'm spending $500 every quarter on Facebook ads, and I did that for a year, and I don't see any of my business coming from that, I need to assess, am I properly trying to convert the leads? Like, are leads coming in, but I'm not able to convert them? Is it my skill? Or did it not even generate any leads to be able to convert? So it's not always a matter of abandoning things right away. We may need to work on improving our skill to convert it. So that's what you kind of have to assess. Geez, I was spending this money on realtor.com, but I didn't get anything from it. So first thing we look at, there were leads, I didn't convert them. Okay, I might need to work on my skill set, or maybe it's just not even in your wheelhouse. But I encourage you to take out your credit card statement and look at your credit card statement line by line and see what you are spending on. Is it an expense or is it an investment? And you might be able to save some money, or you might be able to improve on some of your conversion. So definitely take a look at what you've done last year and let's improve on it. Think about other things in this list here, and you might have things in addition to this. I don't think it's all exhaustive, but are there things that you can try to be proactive and intentional about that you hadn't thought about? Like a referral, if you're going to R4, you should put on your board, I want to get 1 referral from somebody in another state in 2020. When you declare that and you put it up on your board, you're going to find that you'll start to do things to be more proactive and intentional to get the referral. So you've got to declare that you actually want a piece of business to come from that. And then you'll be putting it out there and you'll see opportunities where you never did before. So figure out what you did last year and where you want your business to come from this year. Also, it's important that you look at how many buyers and how many sellers do you want. Most people are like, I'll just take whatever I get. You know, lead generation has very specific strategies, whether you're looking for a buyer or for a seller. So you really do need to determine the number that you're trying to get. And then you can make sure that your strategies align properly with, I'm looking for buyer leads or I'm looking for seller leads. So things that I'm going to encourage you to track in 2020. Sorry, hold on. Here. There you go. I put the door on, I get to use it now. Put the door on my office, now I get to use it. He'll probably bark at the door. This is what I'm going to encourage you to track in 2020. And you've heard me talk about Pearson's Law. Everything that you record, and report will improve. So you've got to be tracking these numbers. So your gross commissions, each month, if you use the source tracker, you'll be outlining where your sellers came from, where your buyers came from. That'll track your gross commission each month. So if you just filled out the source tracker on the first of every month for the previous month, you could really stay in track of where you're at every month of the year, and it's so important. I actually have a little calendar, and this is my little income tracker. So what I do is I just keep it open to the month, and it sits on my desk, and every time I earn income, I write it down in the box. And then what I can do, because I have my entrepreneur's mantra, so when I have my entrepreneur's mantra laminated, then what I can do is I divide my entrepreneur's mantra out by 12, and I know what my income goals should be each month if I want to stay on track to make my yearly number. And having the income right on the calendar, it's kind of inspiring. It's like, oh, okay, I made that on that day. I made that on that day. When you keep it in front of you, you become a lot more intentional. So it's really important. Track your business expenses every month, your personal expenses, how many closed transactions, how many listing appointments did you go on, and how many listings did you take? How many listings do you currently have? Same thing with buyer appointments. How many buyer appointments have you gone on? How many buyers are you working with? What are your buyer sales? What's your average sale price, your average commission? And I'd start tracking how many hours a week you're working. And then how many hours are you spending on prospecting? So I encourage you, I'm sure you probably track some additional things too, but I really encourage you to track these things in 2020. And if you do it month by month, it becomes a habit. And you actually start to get really excited when you start to see the improvement and where you're spending your time and where you're spending your money and how many appointments you're going on. So it's very important that you do this. It really just keeps you grounded, and it also gives you that reinforcement. Having an accountability partner is really huge. I think everybody in the office would appreciate having a little bit of an accountability partner. I think if you went into the office Facebook group and just said, hey, I'm looking for an accountability partner to share my numbers with once a month, I guarantee you'd have a lot of people raise their hand. To me, it's just harder to stay accountable to just yourself. So having that person, just having that accountability piece where you have to report your numbers to someone, it just helps you. That's why coaching is so popular, because people need to have that reinforcement and they need to have someone to help them. So accountability is really just someone that cares about your success. And I think the office is filled with people that would appreciate a little bit of accountability. And I don't think we should look at it as anything negative or as a weakness or anything. To me, it's inspiring. It's fun. I started that personal note challenge on Facebook. And I had 95 people sign up. Now, not 95 people even made it through week 1. So, you gotta get in there and make that commitment on what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. So tracking is huge. Again, here's the entrepreneur's mantra. You can get this sheet. I believe I'm sure it's up on the website. Take this, and the office has a laminator. Write your number out. I have some affirmations on mine. Just, proactive and intentional, abundance, opportunity is everywhere, grateful first, who can I help today? I have my number. When you really get a foothold on this, laminate it and keep it in front of you and say it every day, it's amazing the changes that will happen just because of your subconscious. You're reprogramming your subconscious. And that's what you need to do. And just by saying it out loud once or twice a day, it's amazing what can happen. So I really encourage you to get your entrepreneur's mantra, laminate it, and get it in front of you. So today we're going to talk about goal alignment and motivation. Okay, so there's 5 things that you're motivated by. And you might want to grab a sheet of paper because I want you to kind of go through this exercise with me. So there's 5 motivators. And you might drift in and out of these motivators depending on your circumstances. So it's not like it's set in stone. You may have a couple of motivators, but typically you'll have one driving motivator, and you might have like a tinge or so of another one. And again, these will change depending on your circumstances in your life. So the first motivation is your basic needs: food, water, shelter, and clothing. Some people are selling real estate to keep a roof over their head, to pay the bills. I got to pay the rent. I'm month to month. So if you're in a month to month scenario, your motivation is the basic needs. You're trying to pay the rent, pay the car payment, get some food, you know, get clothes. I mean, it is basic. So when this is your motivator, what you want to realize is that your goals need to be in line with this. Your goals need to be, I've got to pay the bills. Maybe once you're getting the bills paid, now you start to get the emergency fund, right? So if anybody's followed Dave Ramsey, you know that you want to have 3 to 6 months worth of the rent, 3 to 6 months worth of the car payment, 3 to 6. You're trying to get your monthly bills covered for up to 6 months. So you're trying to just build up a savings account, an emergency fund. It shouldn't be, oh, I can't wait. My goal this year is to go on 3 vacations. Not if you're motivated and your motivation is basic needs. Keep your goals in line with your motivation. This is how you have the alignment. And it's really, really powerful. Now, once you get out of this motivation, you might go into one of the other 4, and that's totally fine. I might be forced back into this motivation if Mike were to lose his job, or if something were to happen to my income. I could be right back in here in a heartbeat. I'm not here right now, but I've been here. I've been here a lot. This has been my motivation many, many, many times. And I know that it could happen again. So when you're aware of these things, it really helps you keep this alignment. You know, you're aligned with things that are going to help you move to maybe a different motivation. So if this is your motivation, you just write it down. This is where I'm at. I'm in number 1. You might be in number 2. Number 2 is stuff. Now, I spent about 4 or 5 years motivated by stuff. And I had all the stuff to prove it. I had the big house in Houston. I had the pool. I think Mike went through 3 or 4 different cars in about 2 years. I mean, it was stupid. We had to fill that 6,200 square foot home with stuff. And that's what I was motivated by. I didn't really know that at the time because I didn't really hear about this before. But when I heard about these motivations, I could go right back. It was 2005. I remember it very well. Everybody was buying houses with no money down and interest-only loans. And we were all high on the hog. I mean, there were a lot of us that kind of went through that, and we were motivated by stuff. I'm not there anymore. I'm actually getting rid of stuff. I am shedding like you wouldn't believe. Because it's just not my motivation anymore. There's nothing wrong with this. I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad I kind of moved past it because all this stuff is just so temporary, and everything you own is temporary anyway. But this was my motivation. If this is your motivation, that's fine. Then your goals are going to be about, you might want the new car. You might want the bigger house. You might want an extra house. That's fine. Just now you kind of can put it into a perspective, and then your goals, you can say, okay, this is what I want and this is why, because I'm motivated by stuff. I'm just not there. 3, competition. A lot of people are very competitive and their motivation is competition. That actually motivates them. I want to be number 1 in the office. I want to be number 1 in the state of Georgia, or I want to be number 5, or whatever. It's a motivator. I know a lot of people that are very competitive, and that's great. You know what it is, you know what you're trying to accomplish, and your goals align with that. If there was a contest in the office and they're like, hey, we're going to have a contest on who can sell this or what, it just would not ring with me. Like, I am not competitive. It's a problem I have in tennis too. Like, the people on my tennis team are like, I would really be good if you wanted to win. I have fun and I just don't care about it. So it's just not in my wheelhouse. So it's never been a motivator for me, but it is a motivator for some. And it's great when you can recognize that. Healthy competition is fantastic. And if that's what motivates you, great. Then that's how your goals are going to be. And you'll be able to see that and recognize it. It's just not for me. So if that's your goal, write it down. Say, hey, this is my goal, and now I understand it because that's what I'm motivated by. Financial freedom. This is my motivator now. I am in financial freedom. That is what's motivating me at this point in my life. And it's, where my net worth, I'm trying to figure out that for my retirement, right? I'm paying myself first. I'm reading and I'm studying. I'm trying to be a lot more responsible than I used to be with my money. Like I said, we had all those things and buying all these things. And now before I purchase anything, I sit and I think and I dwell on, do I really, really need this? Like, why am I purchasing this? And it's really made a difference. I'm spending less, getting rid of things that I'm not using anymore, and it feels good. It feels good for me, but this is where I'm at right now. I don't want to be in debt. I want to get out of debt. So right now, this is my motivation, financial freedom. And then there's the legacy. You might be doing things for your kids. What are you going to leave behind? You're motivated by what's going to be left and who you're going to be able to pass something down to. And that may be where many people are too. I think our office, and everywhere I go, I can kind of see, all the differences that people are motivated by and where they're at in their life. So give yourself a little bit of time to really think about what motivates you. When you wrote down what you wanted, vacations, this and that, you can go ahead right from there, right from what you did in the beginning, and figure out which motivation is driving that desire. And then you can do your own self-assessment and kind of see where you're at. And hopefully that makes sense. I found it really empowering when I first heard this, because I never would have said, oh, I'm motivated by financial freedom. I never even heard that before. But when I looked at all the things I was doing, trying to plan for retirement, thinking about where we're going to get our retirement home and what that's looking like, that's when I was able to put it in that motivation bucket. I'm like, wow, I'm motivated by that. I don't have kids. I'm not trying to put kids through school or anything like that. So the legacy is just not part of it. I'm really over the stuffs thing. I have my emergency fund set up, so I'm not in the basic needs. So that's where I fell. So hopefully you'll be able to do a little bit of self-analysis, and maybe you'll find new goals based off of where you want to be motivated. So it's kind of a fun exercise, and I really hope that you'll take the time and do it and really go through and look at that analysis. So when you figure out all your whys and what you're motivated by, right, this is when you're going to create passion links. And you're going to be doing things that are going to get you out of your comfort zone. And hopefully as you look at 2020, you'll start to think, okay, maybe you want 3 vacations a year and you're looking at retirement and you're looking at all these things. You've got to be willing to do things that you haven't done in the past. And when you do things that you haven't done in the past or for the first time, there's going to be some uncomfort. And you need that, because discomfort is really what is proving that you're growing. If you're staying the same, you're comfortable. So I really want to try to push everyone to do something this year that you've never done before. Try a new way to generate a lead. Pick up the phone and call someone. Go through your database and really get reconnected with people. Do open houses. Do some farming, Farm 40. I don't know if you've heard of the Farm 40, but get out there and really do some things that you haven't done before. And remember, you're doing these things because of the passion links that you're creating through your aspirations. So write down those things that you want and be willing to get a little bit uncomfortable this year. So I think a great way to look at 2020 is let's all get comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's just be comfortable being uncomfortable. Let's do new things. Let's, every day think, what can I do different today? What can I do that I've never done before? And look at everything with just a sense of curiosity. and don't judge things. Try to just silently witness through things and try new things. Experiment. Just have that heart of a child who they're willing to try anything, right? We need to get back to that and look at everything with fresh eyes. I would love for everyone to just start this like a whole reset, a decade reset. Let's not have any. I talked to a gal yesterday out here in Denver, and she wanted to just walk away. She's been trying to work with this FISBO, and it was just the perfect example. This lady has crazy ideas of what her house is worth, all this stuff. And I told her, I said, listen, look at this as a challenge. Look at this as an opportunity for you to go and have a conversation with someone that you might not even end up working with. Who cares? Just get out there. She's like, well, I'm telling you, I think I'm done with FISBOs. I'm like, okay, this is the only FISBO that she's ever talked to. So now she's going to make a decision to never do FISBOs because one person is not, easy to work with. I mean, and I said, look at that limiting belief that you're doing. You're totally discounting the opportunity to go help a bunch of people because of one person. You can't live life like that. And she's like, you're right. So look at how many times you might be having these limiting beliefs and really try to catch yourself and try to persevere. Persevere through things that are uncomfortable. So the next thing we're going to move from, so now we have our motivation. Now what we want to do is look at the stages of elevation and the stages of where you're at in your business. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these 4 stages, and I want you to analyze where you're at in several different areas. So have your sheet of paper. So in your business, the first thing we're going to talk about is your business. And if you're doing under 15 deals a year, that is really classified and categorized as you're in survival mode. So your business is in survival mode. And what we mean by that is a few things. You're kind of strapped in the present. You might be operating under basic needs motivation, which means you're just trying to pay the bills month to month. So you're kind of strapped in the present. You're anxious about the future because it's not really a business that's running on all cylinders. You're kind of having to make it happen all the time. So you have this kind of constant pressure on you. You have little cash flow and no profit. So that's where you're at. You got taxes to pay. I mean, if you're doing less than 15 deals, now if you're like, this is your plan, then you wouldn't be in survival mode. So this is pertaining to people that maybe you just got in, you just left another job, you just started full time, and this is just where you're at. Like someone's always going to be in this mode, right? I mean, my first 3 years, I think I was in survival mode. So, I mean, it takes a while, right, to get that business going. You're stressed. You're stressed out. So if you're in survival mode, you need to recognize that, and then we can get on a plan to move you to the next stage, right? So you have to analyze where your point R is, and point R is your reality. Where is your reality? And then we can help you move through the stages. So after survival mode, we get to stability. And stability is great. You're probably doing between 15 to 30 deals a year consistently. And with that, you're calm. You have a calm feeling. You're not totally stressed out. You're okay. And it's good. But you're determined to have more. So you're okay, but you're not satisfied. You're just in stability. You kind of figured out some systems that are working, but you're determined to have more. You don't have profit necessarily, but you pretty much have a pipeline of 8 to 12 months of income. So you've kind of figured out your systems, whether it's working by referral or open houses or expireds or whatever your system is, you figured it out. You're not really profitable per se, but you have about 8 to 12 months of a pipeline. So again, that kind of brings you that okay and calm feel, but yet there's still a burning desire in you that I want more. you're kind of at this point working on your before, during, and after systems. So you know how to get the business. Now you're in refinement mode. So you're actually trying to refine all the vital activities. Maybe you're getting thinking about getting a transaction coordinator, things like that. But you're really driven to hone your systems in so that you can take on more, right? It's hard to go from 15 deals to 40 deals if you don't have your systems in place for the before, during, and after. So this is kind of where you're at. After stability comes success. And these are the people probably doing 30 to 50 deals a year. And you're pretty secure and confident. This is the time where you're ready to hire someone. See, I'll see people that are in survival mode thinking that they need to hire help. And you're just not there yet. You hire help when you're in the success stage. Your systems are already in place. And now you can scale up to help more people because you already figured it out. See, so many people are trying to hire people before they've even figured it out. And it ends up being a disaster. That's the problem, is that they're hiring too soon. They're hiring before they even need to. You got to figure the stuff out first. You got to figure out how you're going to serve people before, during, and after. Then you can go ahead and scale up and hire. And maybe now, some people stay in success level forever. And that's great. You have great income and you have profit at this point. You have profit, you're figuring out your retirement, you've got your entrepreneur's mantra down, you don't miss that mark. You're just in a really good place. You reinvest regularly in your business. So maybe you're doing coaching. Now we're going to have Booge and stuff, so you don't really have to do an outside CRM, but you reinvest regularly in how you get your business as well. So whether that's in your farming or your newsletters, but it's a system, and you've got it down and you have the income to do that, and you still have some profit. The next stage is significance. And this is the people that are doing 75 deals or more. So you've gotten to a very high level, and 10% of people will seek to go beyond success and get into significance. And you have this profound desire to give back. And you're not really that encapsulated in the day-to-day anymore. You've actually hired people, and you do have a team, and you're kind of the one that oversees everybody else doing their thing so that you can really see beyond the day-to-day and give back at a very high level. And they say that it's about 10% of the people that actually get to significance. And the numbers may vary. I mean, I tried to use numbers that I've heard for the income that goes with it. So across the country, I mean, shoot, if you're doing 75 deals in California, my gosh, you're probably a quadrillionaire, right? And so the numbers may vary. So I think don't get hung up on the numbers, get hung up on the attributes of each stage that I showed. So, if we go back, are you secure and confident? Do you have great income and profit? You might have that at 29 deals. I mean, so don't get hung up on the numbers, get hung up on the attributes from each one. Your focus becomes smaller and more defined. When you get to significance, there's no outside noise anymore. You're really humming along. You figured out your niche. You have people in place to help you, and you're serving a lot of people. You're serving a lot of people. And it's exciting. Now, significance may not be anything that you're ever seeking toward. You might just want to get to success and stay there, and that's great. Some people just hang out in stability. But it's really important to kind of go through the stages in this evolution because they all build on each other. So do a little self-reflection on where you're at in your business. And you're just going to use that survival, stability, success, or significance. So do some business analysis on that and see where you're at as you look at your business. Then I want you to take a sheet of paper and I want you to look at all these areas and I want you to define where you're at in these 7 F's in your life. So the first one's going to be your finances. So look at your finances and say, am I in survival, stability, success, or significance? I'd probably say personally, I'm in success. I'm not in significance. I'm in success, I feel right now. It kind of fluctuates from stable to success, I think, right now for me. So what you're doing is if you draw a circle and divide that out, you know, in 7 places, and we kind of just fill in that circle, and I'll show you in a second, but the areas that I want you to think about is finances and just what comes to your head right away. Survival, survival, stability, success, or significance. Family. Where are you at with your family? And think about how you feel. You know, what are the feelings that come with your family and with your finances? Is it calm? Is it confidence? Is it stressed? With your family, same thing. Are you spending enough time, the time that you want with your family? How are those relationships? Are they in survival, stability, success, or significance? Fun. How much fun do you have? Are you spending enough time having fun? Are you in survival? I probably have too much fun. Survival, significance. You know, where are you at with fun in your life? You know, we get this one life. I love that saying. It's like, you know, it says, oh, you only live once. No, you die once. You live every day. And every day you get that chance to have fun, you know, spend time with your family. Yes, go and earn some income too. But make sure that you're having fun. And where are you at? Fitness. How are you doing with your fitness levels? Are you hitting your fitness goals? Are you making good choices? Are you meditating? Are you eating the right foods? Are you drinking a lot of water? You know, what are you doing fitness wise? And you can do that same self-evaluation. Oh, I'm in survival mode. Okay, well, we need to move to stability. And then from stability, we can get to success. And from success, we can get to significance. How are your friendships? Do you have a lot of friends? Do you have deep friendships? Do you not have any friends? I mean, you know, it was interesting. I'm in that Facebook group with Mel Robbins for the best decade ever. And I've just kind of been reading some of the posts, and there's a lot of people out there that they say they don't have any friends. I mean, it's just really interesting. So how are your friendships? Are you spending the time with friends? Are you making new friends? Are you going deeper? Are you getting rid of some friends that don't serve you very well? That's important too. Who you hang around with has an impact on you. Faith. What does faith even mean to you? Have you even thought about faith and what that means to you in your life? Are you in survival mode, significance, stability, success? How about your future? How do you feel about your future? Have you thought about this next decade and what it's going to mean for you? And it's kind of interesting. You know, Mel had us go back for the last decade and write down all the things that we accomplished and what energized us and what felt good. And it was so fascinating to go through that and look at all the different changes that have occurred over the last decade with technology and the way we communicate and shoot smartphones and all the things that have changed, and who knows what's going to come in this, right? But how do you feel about your future? You know, so many times we just look at the numbers, but how do you actually feel? I don't think we spend enough time figuring out our feelings and what really motivates us. So if you take this circle, you can kind of see in the inner circle, the one right here, this would be survival. And then if you're in stability, you could kind of fill in the fun here with this little angle, or success. And then if you're in significance, you'd be on the very outer edge. So if you do this for each one, you can kind of, what happens is it kind of creates a wheel, and you can see where your tire's flat. So as you get to the outer edge, you kind of have that strong wheel where you might have some breaks in it here and there, but this kind of gives you some clarity and some focus for 2020 or for the whole next decade as to where you kind of want to improve. And you'll notice as you improve in certain areas, it kind of blows up the whole circle. Like if your finances are in survival mode, it might have an impact on family. It might have an impact on how much fun you can have, right? It's hard to go have fun when, you're just covering the bills, right? So as you start to improve in certain areas, it's going to have an impact on other areas too. But when you actually sit and just reflect on this, it's really powerful, and it's empowering because it helps you with some clarity on what you're doing and how you can improve, and ask for the help. If you need help, that's why we have the supportive team at RE/MAX Center. So if you need help in your business, in your finances, and you need help getting the systems in place, that's what we're here for. That's what we want to help you achieve. And if you can get an accountability partner that can help you with that, if you have some friends that can help you along the way, it's going to help your future and your faith and your fun and your fitness. We could do a fitness challenge at RE/MAX Center. That would be fun. So again, we can try to do things together, but you need to ask for the help. If you need it, we certainly want to provide it, but we're not mind readers. So we want to help you with anything that you need that's in our power. We want to be able to help you with that. So go through this self-assessment. I think it'll be really empowering for you, just to kind of have this self-reflection. And I would spend maybe 30 minutes on it. 30 minutes of your personal development time, have it going through this goal alignment. What is your motivation? What are the goals? And then what stage is your business in? And then where are you in the 7 F's of your life? And kind of go through this process. I think it'll expose some areas that maybe we can work on this year. We would love for training ideas. Anything that we can bring to the table, we want to. And I know Lori and Joanne and Tina, they put together all kinds of great things each month. And we want to make sure we're meeting you where you're at. So we would love to hear some ideas as well of things that you need help with. But I think you'll find this exercise pretty empowering. I've done it a couple times now from when I first heard this. And it's funny how things have already changed since I first went through this in October. My wheel already looks different. It's just so funny how, you could do this once a month and I'm sure you would see the changes if you were just really honest about it. So that was the goal alignment. So again, just to kind of recap and finish up, we had the look where your business came from. Go through that exercise and see where your business came from last year. Where can we improve and get better? Are there things that we need to stop doing that just weren't getting you the results? And pick something new. Pick a new form of where to get business from. I want you to try a new lead generating technique this year. I think it would be really cool to pick something new. Get your entrepreneur's mantra laminated, please. Get that done. And Lori's got the sheets that the entrepreneur's mantra. You can go grab one from her, shoot me an email. I'll email it over to you, print it, get it written out, put some affirmations on there, and start saying that every morning. Track your numbers. I'm tracking my income, right on my income calendar. Every time I get a check, I write down the amount. And it's fun because then when I go, I'm like, I didn't make any income this week. You know what? It puts a fire under my butt. So go ahead and do that. Stay connected with 100 people this year. Go deep. create an action plan in Booj. It will tell you exactly when to do what, who to do it with. You could fill that out and you could initiate those action plans so that it actually fills right into your phone. And every day it'll tell you, oh, it's time to do a text message to this person. Oh, it's time to do an unsolicited CMA to this person. Oh, it's time to send a personal note to this person. If you will do what Booj tells you to do, you'll have an unbelievable business. It's called an action plan. It takes about 15 minutes to create. Each day you go ahead and launch it on different people so that it fills your calendar in a nice sequential order. Because if you go in and create an action plan and in 30 days you have to do a text message, but you go ahead and turn it on to 100 people, in 30 days, you're going to have to do 100 text messages. You're not going to do it. So you've got to launch it in a systematic way. You want to make sure you stay connected with relevant, current information. That's what's going to convey your character and competence. If everyone in the office would just have a database of 100 deep relationships, you'd have more business than you would know what to do with. But we're not going deep with people. We're not staying connected. We think that if we just mail a newsletter through email, that that's going to do it. No, it's not. It's not going to do it. You've got to go deep with people. You've got to touch them a different way every month with different information and have a giving heart. How can you go and serve others? How can you go help people? Create that, the referral center on your website, or just mail it to people. Become a resource for people. That's how you're going to grow your business. And then I want you to think about who you influence and who influences you. So we're going to wrap it up with these influences here. Okay, who do you influence and who influences you? So the first type of an influencer is a cheerleader. Who are you a cheerleader for? Sometimes you have to be a cheerleader for your clients. Sometimes you have to be a cheerleader for your kids. Sometimes you have to be a cheerleader for your friends or your spouse. And this is just telling people, hey, you can do this. You're just encouraging. And that's when you're in cheerleader mode. But who's a cheerleader for you? Who's your cheerleader? Give it some thought. Who are you a cheerleader for and who's your cheerleader? We all need a cheerleader. So if you don't have one, you need to find one. Become one. When you become a cheerleader, you'll find cheerleaders for you. A mentor. A mentor is someone that you want to aspire to be like. So if you have a mentor, make sure it's someone that is emulating the things that you would want to become. That's what a mentor is. A mentor is someone that is emulating what you want to become. Who are you a mentor for? Who could you be a mentor for? If you're not, give it some thought. Maybe there's someone that needs your mentoring. And if you need a mentor, seek out a mentor. A coach. Sometimes you have to be a coach for your clients, right? Coaches are going to tell you things that you don't want to hear. A coach is very different than a mentor. You might not ever want to be like your coach. Because a coach is going to tell you stuff that you don't want to hear. And they're going to ask you a lot of questions. They're going to help you self-discover what you need to become. The answers you need, a good coach is going to help you self-discover that. I think that was one of the best traits that Pat Fennick has. He asks great questions. He helped me self-discover so much about myself, about my business, about the contract. It kind of used to be the joke. Every time I had a question, I knew he was going to ask me 3 things. So I had to have my 3 things already prepared before I went in to ask the question. And if it was a question, usually it's about the contract or about a deal going on. The first thing he would ask is, did you read the contract? Because half the time I go in with a question and I hadn't even read the paragraph. I hadn't even tried to interpret the paragraph. I would just go with him. He's like, did you read the contract? I'm like, oh, I'll be right back. So then I'd go read the contract. A lot of times I didn't have to go back. And then if I read the contract and I still had to go back, I'd go back and then the next question would come. Are you working with the right client? No, probably not, right? So if I was working with the right question, then depending on where it was emulating from, he'd say, are you working with the right lender? It was always the same three things. Did you read the contract? Are you working with the right client? And do you have the right lender? Most of the problems emulated from one of those three areas: working with the wrong people, not having a good lender, and not reading the contract. So many of the things that I learned because he asked me great questions. So if you remember, you're going to be coaching your clients, you're going to be coaching your friends, you're going to be coaching your kids. Think about asking great questions. Friend, right? Sometimes your friends influence you, you influence your friends. Sometimes you just need a friend, someone with that unconditional love that tells you the way it is or tells you what you need to hear. And you're going to have friends, and you're going to be a friend to other people. You're going to be a friend to your clients sometimes. And then your catfish. So who's your catfish? So the story of the catfish is back when they used to ship cod overseas for food, they wanted to keep the cod fresh. And the natural enemy of the cod is the catfish. So what they would do is, in the big barrels, they would drop a catfish in the barrel with the cod. And that would keep the cod swimming like crazy, and it would keep them fresher longer. So when we talk about your catfish, what or who is your catfish? Who's that person that keeps you going when you want to stop? Who keeps that fire underneath you, or what? I had someone, when I had taught this, they called me like 4 days later and said, I found my catfish. I said, what is it? She said, I signed up for a like mini Ironman thing in August. That's now her catfish. That's going to keep her motivated to go and train, because now she paid for it. She signed up. She's got to go. So what are you putting in place that's keeping you going? Or who is that person that's keeping you going when you want to stop? And you're going to be a catfish for people, and you need to have a catfish. So give it some thought and figure out, what is it that's going to keep you going, or who is it that's going to keep you going, and who can you be a catfish for? Who can you be a catfish for? So that's it for today. Hopefully you'll take some time. I do have a little reminder about Booge here to finish, but we're going to be working on Booge. I know Lori's been doing a lot of classes and trainings on it. Remember, at the end of this month, we should be making the switch from homes.com to Booge. So lots of exciting things are going to happen. So definitely make sure you're getting in there and creating tags and using custom fields. Add all your contacts in there, get them tagged appropriately, apply the top 100 task plan to 10. If you did that to 10 people a week, within, if you do 100 in 10 weeks, you'll have your whole calendar filled out telling you what to do for the next 12 months. I mean, it's just really, really powerful. You can start putting your deals in there from 2019, so you can kind of see how the deals pipeline and the deals function works. Remember, the websites are already live, so hopefully you've been going in and doing some stuff there. Add a resource center to your website. And then I think in February, the beginning of February, I'll talk with Lori, but I think it'd be a great time to really make that full-blown announcement about the website and getting people to go in and creating accounts on your website. So we'll be bringing that to you as well. And we'll have ideas for how to get the word out and how to drive that traffic to your website. And again, get those people kind of attached to you and creating an account. And if you have a referral center on your website, then you're actually, it's really great, because you're telling people about a resource that you're now going to provide. So lots of cool things around the resource center, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch about that. So that'll be forthcoming. let me know how I can help you. I'm happy to help any way that I can. If anything resonated from today, or if you want any of these screens or anything, I mean, it's all recorded, but I'll be happy to send you the slide deck if you want to go back through it and kind of give it some thought. I encourage you to do that. But let us know how we can help you. And I'm excited it's going to be a great 2020. We have a lot of good things coming down the pike. And we'd love to hear any ideas from you too about what you need and how we can help. So I'll just open it up. Maybe Joanne and Lori, if you have anything to add here.
I just want to say, I think this is great. This is like the perfect thing that I think anybody needs to see this time of year if they're really trying to get back to basics and they want to just reevaluate their business so that they can have a better plan for 2020. I think this is awesome. And I love the stuff at the end for Booge.
Good. Yeah. I want to get everybody, pumped up and fired up for Booge. And, let's all just look at everything with a new set of eyes.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say too, you were talking about, being real intentional, and you were like, if you go to R4 and connect with somebody, that we're doing like there's several of us going to R4, and I'm doing I found an app called Goose Chase, and it's basically a scavenger hunt. It's all photo based, but one of the items on there is going to be meet somebody from out of the country and meet somebody from a different state, get a picture with them, and then you get bonus points if you get a referral.
That's awesome.
Just little things like that even at something like that, I know everybody goes for the education, but I think they forget to be intentional about stuff.
I think so too. And it's just fun to get out of your comfort zone and go meet people.
Yeah.
I think the best year was when Mel Robbins actually talked and did the live exercise right there on the 5-second rule. And people were going up to people, and you could tell it's because they were at the 5-second rule, because she goes, if you see someone and you're like, oh, I should go introduce myself, and then you start, as soon as you hesitate, then that's when you put the feeling and you're like, oh, now I feel funny. It's that hesitation. And I think that year, I probably introduced myself to more people that year than I've ever done in my life, and everybody was like, you could just see it. People were just going, hey, I'm from, and it was like everybody was doing the 5-second rule. They were just moving, taking action, and just going and talking and not thinking about it. And you could just see it. I mean, it was so funny, but I think everybody should do that again. If you see someone, just go walk up. What do you think? They're not going to bite you, I mean,
I guess they're not. No.
Yeah.
They're not going to bite you.
So, all right, well, good. Well, I'll go ahead and get this converted, and we'll put it up on the website, and I'll go ahead and post it in the Facebook group, so maybe we can get some more folks to look at it and do the self-assessments that we had.
Awesome.
All right, well, thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thanks, Holly. You too.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.